you're all handling the lockdown. How are you spending the quarantine? So, Hilary, how are you doing so far?
Well, we've been in quarantine for about 10 days now. Haven't been into the office, haven't left the house much. So it's been trying with two teenage girls in the house. A lot of arguing.
Yeah.
They just started school again on Monday, so things are getting a little bit better. Doing a lot of cooking, a lot of just finally gave into Netflix, and a lot of drinking, to be honest with you, to get through the evening.
Yep. It's finally noon here in San Diego, so listen, I'm ready. Any recipes you want to share with and Dr. Friedman? You want to share anything yourself that both of you chime in? Adam's got young kids at home, so I know the drill.
Yeah, so I'm kind of the polar opposite. I've been going in every day, though. At GW, we've been really reduced to only urgent or acute cases, and we're rolling out telemedicine, as well as using WebEx to do all of our resident training. So when I go home, I get to experience what Hilary is describing for my wife, who's been with the kids all day. But then I get to take over, and it's also been a lot of fun playing a lot of basketball, hearing my daughter sing a lot of Broadway tunes. So it's been a nice balance between an 8- and 6-year-old who have very distinct interests.
I'm sure you can hear my 5- and 2-year-olds in the background. How many
Our office is open. They've suspended. I don't own the practice, so the owners of the practice have suspended cosmetic procedures, but we're open for everything else. So I'm there 3 days a week, and the rest of the time I'm doing other things. I think it's actually pretty easy to handle the quarantine if you have things like this.
Absolutely.
This has been fantastic. I don't deal with Neal's recommendations. I go right to the top.
Wow.
Select.
That's called swinging for the fence.
I want to have grapes without wine. To me, it's really been not a lot different, in terms of what
Are these all in your conflict of interest disclosure?
Is that?
Are these in your conflict of interest disclosure?
No, these are not my conflict of interest. These are what I live by. This is my nutrition. I do have certain rules that we follow. These are some of the rules: no tofu, only whole milk, good soup, and capellini bolognese. I don't know if I'm right, but it better be good. I mean, these are the rules of my life, and that's what I follow now.
Don't tell Mark, though. He's the only one who's actually losing weight in this group.
And soup is good matzo ball soup, Mark.
So Mark, all kidding aside, how do you think canceling the academy meeting has affected dermatologists?
I think a lot of people thought it was not soon enough, and there's some people who are still getting over the fact that it's the first time in 30 or 40 years that they haven't gone to an academy meeting. I think it's a shocker for everybody. I totally agree that finding ways to get through this with laughter is important. There are people who are suffering, personally, with people they know, like myself, whose nephew is in the hospital on a ventilator. There are colleagues of ours who are suffering in their offices and deciding to furlough and lay off employees. But I think the way to get through it is to listen to the news enough so that you know what's going on and what you shouldn't be doing, but not so much that it consumes you. So we've tried to find, I'm here with my whole family, and we've tried to find moments where we can relate to a Family Guy or Seinfeld episode, and then we put it on, watch it as a family, see how Kramer makes all the stops because everyone kept ringing the bell, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, you have to. And without that, you could sit on social media, you could sit in the news 24 hours a day and make yourself insane.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
I Googled yesterday, is there anything in the world other than coronavirus? And 5 things came up, none of which were interesting, by the way.
Wow. Was the Dos Equis or Tecate virus one of them? Or
They were talking about other epidemics. I don't want to hear that.
The social media was ridiculous before the coronavirus. This just emphasizes how ridiculous it is.
It really is sad.
And I survived great without it.
And that's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I thought, we just all need a release. And I think everyone at home just needs to find a way to unplug. even if it's a walk outside, 6 feet away from others, just people have to find a way to get a little sane. Otherwise, you could just go batty quickly.
I think I'm usually the one who's very much. I'm usually the one very much against social media, but I think technology here has actually changed how the world experiences a pandemic. Granted, that hasn't been one in 100 years, but I'll come home and my daughter, my son will be on a 10-person Zoom call with their entire class, catching up or camp friends, and I've never seen anything like it. And it's really allowing people to engage and not socially distance, even though they're physically distant. So I will make a plug for technology, but I agree. I think social media can be used completely incorrectly, disseminate horrifically incorrect information that can actually hurt our patients, like the whole Plaquenil story. And now my lupus patients are having difficulty getting their refills. But at the same time, I think it can be used correctly and really allow people to stay attached and stay connected and not go completely batshit crazy.
I don't consider that the definition of social media. That's using technology for connection. Social media is giving people that are not being reviewed in terms of their opinions the same limelight as anybody else. You know, some idiot somewhere has the same limelight as Tony Fauci. You know, because they can just get on and blab and people connect to it. That's what I'm talking about with social media. There's no peer review of opinions.
The crazy posts that used to be at 2 a.m. that were drunk and late and are now at noon because people are just on there all day long. So, well, Adam, I'll ask you, since you talked about the department, how are you keeping your residents from going stir crazy?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a topic of discussion even at the ACGME level. From a didactic training perspective, we're actually doing more than we normally would. I mean, we've completely gone to WebEx. Just this past Monday, GW hosted a 7.5-hour conference that really was comprised of actually a lot of material that would have been presented at the Academy meeting. We had over 750 attendees. And that was just this week, but every day our residents are getting WebEx lectures, but that's a very small piece of their training. Really, the front line of their training is going to be the hands-on experience, seeing patients, performing procedures, and that's taking a significant hit. And so DIOs, designated institutional officials around the country, are trying to figure out how is this going to impact someone's ability to sit for their boards, really meet all the milestones that are required to be a board-certified whatever. And so I think the jury is still out on that. But I think from a purely lecture standpoint, they're getting more than they've ever had before, but that's not the whole picture to their training.
Oh, exactly, because they're losing out on hands-on and losing out on the interaction, which is significant.
Right. Well, how long have they been losing out on hands-on, Adam?
So about 2 weeks now. So we went down to only urgent or acute cases. So we're talking about maybe they're seeing a patient or two a day at most.
And that's been for 2 weeks.
So about 2 weeks now.
For another 4 weeks. Do we really think 6 weeks loss of that takes away from somebody being able to become a board certified whatever? I hardly think that.
So the time point is really critical. They've actually, ACGME has said it's 30 days. If this slowdown lasts beyond 30 days, that's when they really have to make some of those decisions.
So let me ask you.
I think that's their disconnect with reality.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
There's a group of people sitting in a boardroom versus really knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this: we're all out of meetings, right? When do you think the next realistic meeting will be? Will it be in August at summer, or are we looking into the fall?
September.
September.
That's my bet.
I think longer.
Wow.
I hope you're right.
October.
Jim, what do you think?
I'm thinking the fall, September, October.
Yeah, I'm seeing the dominoes of the meetings start to go down into July now, and definitely into August, and that's concerning for all of us, right? Not just interaction-wise, but education-wise. Let me ask you this: which is going to be the first major sport to come back?
Oh.
Tough, right? I mean, we haven't.
Yeah.
I say ice hockey.
The hockey will come back.
Ice hockey
is going to come back. It's too close to the end. They'd have to change how they do playoffs. I don't think ice hockey is going to come back.
I think baseball opening day is going to be the next major event.
Probably when.
I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
I would
And I
think
don't care if basketball comes back.
the sports with the littlest amount of of personal contact, right? So baseball makes sense to me because you don't have to hit people and check people, and you can stay fairly far apart.
Sure. Baseball is social distance already. 90 feet.
Right?
You don't have
But
to
you
hold
allow
anybody
out
on at
for
first base.
fees. You allow people to come
Unless-
to the games.
Unless you're a catcher.
That's true.
Catcher's right in the action. Let me ask you guys this: is there a restaurant, like a mom and pop restaurant, that you guys are supporting?
Yeah.
Which one?
Actually, I'm almost right next to it in my practice. Mama Lucia's, which actually has multiple sites in Maryland and DC. It's actually public knowledge that they're in some big trouble with everything going on. So we've really been trying to encourage people to order takeout. I think it's probably the closest thing to New York pizza here in Maryland. So I swear to God, if that goes away, it's not going to be good for anyone around me. I'm not going to lie. It's going to get super ugly. I don't have bagels. Give me my damn pizza. Come on.
Exactly. Every Friday.
God.
Mark, what about you? In Miami? Is there one?
Yeah, well, we have one actually in the building who's suffering, so we're trying to order in as much as possible.
Yeah. How about you, Hilary?
We haven't been ordering in too much, because I don't know how true it is, but they were talking about cardboard being an issue, and everything comes in cardboard, and I just I've been a little leery about it. So I've been doing most of the cooking, but we're starting to run out of staples. So it's shortly going to become going to the grocery store or ordering in. And I would like to support our local community, but I am supporting our local butcher shop. We're lucky; we have a butcher around the corner. It also has deli stuff. So and they're delivering to the curbside every day.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's been very helpful.
I'll ask you guys one last fun question before I let you go. So, if you could choose 3 people to be quarantined with, who would they be? So, Hilary, I'll start with you.
Living or dead?
Living or dead?
Okay. Well, I have to put my father on the list because I want somebody with me who's always calm and always hopeful and always upbeat, and that would certainly be him. And then I want my personal trainer because I'm getting fatter by the minute. And I also need to be entertained. So I'm thinking James Taylor or Carole King with a guitar, so we could all do a sing-along.
All right. Adam, how about you?
Well, I'm going to say the most appropriate answer, which is my wife and 2 kids. But if I was forced to not say them, because they are watching, clearly, I would say Mike Myers, because he's freaking hilarious, and I just want to use different accents all day. I don't know, probably Tim Allen, because I'm not handy. I need him to fix everything around the house. At least he played that guy on TV, so that would work. And then, yeah, I would love our cleaning lady to be able to come in. Our house is in disarray, or as close to disarray as we'll allow it to be. But God, I really, really, really miss her. So those would be the 3.
But once she's there, she's not leaving. So you better have a lot to clean.
There's plenty to clean. It's a dirty place.
All right, Mark. Aside from the 3 women in your life, who would you pick?
Probably I'd go with Hilary and go with my dad, who passed away 6 months ago. Also able to stay calm and good humored throughout any kind of crisis. And maybe Noah, so he could build a boat and get me the hell out of here.
Going biblical.
The quarantine arc. That would be pretty good. Well, I wish you all the safety and virtual hug from here. And thanks everyone for watching the Quarantine Quorum. And we'll probably see you again one more time before this is all said and done.